You're inside K-Dave's community show. Your issues, your topics, your community. Now.
It's the 93.5 K-Day morning show. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's having a good week. We got a couple issues we'll be talking about today, something that most of our listeners, if you stay tuned in every week, are familiar with. We have a friend of the show, and I've talked to him, and I've talked to his company, and I talked to some of my people here at K-Day, and we're going to have what's called a blowout. Well, we'll keep bringing them back because we're trying to get these people in these homes. So if you know we're talking about homes, you know we're talking about Andrew from ICC Lending, Integrity Credit Corporation. What's going on, Andrew?
Good morning, Trey. Thank you very much. Good morning, listeners. Thank you for bringing me back, for having me on your show.
And I definitely want to stress the point. It's important to bring you back because we're getting such a positive response as far as people making their next move and making better financial decisions as far as trying to get from an apartment to a home. And I think that's just, like I said, I talked to some of my bosses, and I've talked to the people at your company and you, and I think it's just really, really important because of the way the housing market is to get these people to realize it is possible to buy a home if you are renting or paying rent.
Yes, it is absolutely possible. You know, we have been on your show for months and months, and we have talked about how, you know, it's much more beneficial to be a homeowner than to be a renter. You just have to take the first step to finding out how you can make that process possible. And I know from what we've talked about several times, it starts with, you know,
with your credit.
With your credit.
And that's something
Yes.
we definitely want to cover.
Yes.
But when I go over the list with you of how many callers have called you, it's overwhelming.
Yes.
And there's a few people that's working on their pre-qual letters. There's a few people trying to get in their houses as we speak. But there's a lot of people out there who's getting their credit pulled, and we want them to take the next step.
Yes.
Why is it that you feel? Because I think I might have had the same feelings at first when I began my process. There's an area where you're nervous and you're scared about becoming, I guess, I don't want to say a full adult, but like a responsible financial adult where you're like, okay, I'm gonna have a mortgage now.
Yeah,
do you get that sense when you talk to people?
I get that sense all the time. You know, quite frankly, it's a big undertaking to own a mortgage, to say, okay, I want to be committed to paying for mortgage, because it's not like renting. I mean, when you're renting, if you don't pay your bills,
You just move. Yeah.
But when it's a mortgage, you know, you don't pay your bills, guess what? Your house gets foreclosed on.
Yeah.
And I think because of the news that have gone around over the last 3-4 years, the big foreclosure wave, people losing their homes left and right, it's kind of scared a lot of people to want to take that step to become homeowners.
And that's something we definitely want to educate the people with. And as far as when I'm here, I'm doing my best to educate the people. I want these people to be able to buy homes because I see so many people my age and older that's still renting homes.
Yes.
And I think it's very, very important for you to make that first move as far as just a crossover financially and buy your home, because mortgage and rent are pretty much the same thing, except for one is yours and one is not yours.
Well, it's even more than that.
Yeah.
Not only one is yours.
Go ahead into depth with that.
Well, into depth with that is that, see, every smart investor knows that in order for you to get a big tax break, you should own a mortgage. You cannot deduct your rent from your taxes.
Okay.
So, but mortgage interest payments, which is the bulk of your mortgage, you can deduct that from your taxes. Not only that, your rent, if you rent a place, it cannot appreciate in value.
Okay.
You can refinance your rent. You can cash out from your rent.
Yeah.
But a mortgage, you know, your value goes up. Guess what? You can refinance into a lower rate, or you can cash out and take some of that money maybe for your child education. So you know what? There's just so much difference between buying and selling. And owning.
And owning home. This is what happens when we get together, man.
Yeah.
Andrew, he's trying to turn me into a real estate guy. I'm just playing. I'm learning so much. I have a fascination for it a little bit now.
Well, you're in the market to buy a house.
Yeah, I'm in the
now?
market to buy a house, but just learning the whole process is like I just feel like whenever I learn something, I want to educate other people about it. And that's why I emphasize and try to bring all the things that I learn on this show to everybody who's listening. I hope you guys enjoy it. But we haven't even started our show yet. We're just rambling on.
well, let's just jump into let your listeners know that, if you're paying $1,000 or more in rent, you should try to get qualified.
You can buy a home.
You might be $100,000 home, but guess what? There's a lot of people who are paying $2,000. Go try and rent a 3-bedroom house right now.
Yeah,
it's about $2,500 or even more. That's the same amount for a mortgage. Why do you want to keep renting when you can save your money on the long run? There's so many advantages. At the end of the year, when you deduct those interest payments from your taxes, that's almost like giving yourself a raise.
And we talk about there's so many benefits of buying a home.
So many benefits of owning a home. If you are ready to step it up and be a responsible investor. So because whenever you buy a home, you are an investor.
And it's a lot of people that's ready but don't know they're ready.
They don't know they're ready. So let's start this up. I have said this already on the show, and I'm going to say it again. If you have a 500 FICO and above, and you have been employed for 2 years or more, and
you're ready.
And you have filed your taxes in the last 2 years,
you're ready.
You should get pre-qualified. Guess what? The pre-qualification is free.
You're ready.
Yeah, it's free.
It's just I want to keep emphasizing that because I've talked to some of the listeners, and I'm like, you make a good amount of money.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful credit score, and you rather rent. Man, go get you a home.
Yeah.
Go get you a home.
And you know what? If you buy a home, I tell some people, I say, see, buy a home. If you don't like it, sell it.
Sell it or rent it out.
Yeah.
And
make money.
Guess what? So let's say you work in retail and you buy a home. Guess what? Now you're a business owner as well.
Yes.
Because you started a business because you own property.
Now you own property.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to the basics real quick. They'll say, well, what's the process? How do I become a homeowner? Well, first things first, you have to check your credit. You have to check your credit.
Andrew, and that's the topic of today's show. Prepare your credit for home ownership.
Prepare your credit for home ownership. That's today's topic.
We're just now getting to the show.
Prepare your credit for home ownership. It starts with your credit. If you have a 500 FICO score, or above, you can be qualified to become a homeowner. We have talked about this several times on the show. If you have a 580 FICO, it's a 0.5% down. There are down payment assistance programs from the city, from the state, from the federal government, all over the place.
We're going to get somebody in a home, man, and we're going to get them on the show.
The plan...
To tell everybody else.
The plan is to get at least 50 people into homes.
That's what we're trying to do.
That's what we're trying to do.
I don't want to go on a record. Everybody know what's going on here at this job. We want to get 50 people in before we go ahead and get out of here.
The toll-free number again, just
let's
so you know.
The toll-free number
888
is 888-816-6407, and we always make it a point to give out Andrew's personal line, and he does get back to you within 30 minutes to an hour. He might be in meetings or taking other calls. His cell phone number is 949-232 9569.
949-232-9569. Getting back to the basics here, credit. If your credit score, it doesn't matter what it is, check your credit. I always advise, check your credit once every 3 months.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. One, you want to make sure that nobody's doing stuff on your record that you have no clue about.
Yes.
That's just normal. Check your credit once every 3 months. You can do a free credit pool online free credit report,
and I want
annualcreditreport.com.
I want to give you your website out too.
Yeah. But on the credit report, you can get a free one online, annualcreditscore.com. Well, that one's not going to give you
all three credit scores.
It's not going to give you a score. It's just going to give you your credit report. But if you want a score on your credit, then you can come to us. We can help you with that.
And for the people that's maybe tuning in for the first time and haven't heard this show before, you can get all this information and read about it and educate yourself at www.icclending.com.
icclending.com is our website, Integrity Credit Corporation. What we do, again, we do free credit analysis. We tell you exactly what's on your credit, how to fix it, all for free. You don't need to pay anybody to do that. We've done this for years. I personally know how to read credit report, and I've helped hundreds of people on how to fix their credit. So if you are out there, you're listening to us, and you want to improve your score so you can become a homeowner, then you should give us a call. 888-816-6407. My cell phone number, 949-232-9569. Well,
let's go ahead and get into some of this nitty-gritty about the housing market, and as far as preparing yourself to become a homeowner. The number one step that most people question is like, what can I afford and how much do I know what I qualify for?
Well, it starts again with your credit. We have to pull your credit to see who you're currently paying on a monthly basis. It's called your liabilities. So we pull your credit, and then we match that with your income, which is your 2 years tax returns, your W-2s, and your most current pay stub. So we have to calculate those to see what your debt to income ratio will be, because lenders, they only allow certain amount of numbers for your debt to income ratio. And if you're thinking all this mumbo jumbo, what's debt to income ratio? Simply is the ratio of your debt compared to your income.
Okay.
And normally it should not be over 50%.
Okay.
Your total debt should not be over 50% of your income. And that's how you're going to be able to see what you qualify for. To get qualified, go onto our website, icclending.com. Click on the Apply Now button on the top right corner. Fill out a 10-minute application. And there, you're done. We take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the first question that we definitely want to cover. What you can afford. So we already said you go over your credit report, you compare your W-2s to how much money you've been making and compare it with your credit score.
Compare your credit score
to your
with
debt.
To your debt and to your income. So it's your credit, your debt, your income. Those are the three things that will help you really determine what you can afford.
The next situation most people might be wondering is, how is your credit report?
Well, most people I talk to, the first question I ask them always, when was the last time you checked your credit? It's appalling. I'm amazed when people say, well, I haven't checked my credit in 1 year, in 2 years. Well, I don't remember the last time I checked my credit. You should check your credit every 3 months. You don't want to do it every 3 months, at least once every 6 months. So once you check your credit, that will tell us exactly what needs to be done, where you are, and where we need to go. And we do that for free. Now, your copy of your mortgage credit report, that costs $17 for a single individual and $25 for a married couple.
Okay.
So we want people to know that is not free. For $17, you will get a copy of your report. I will email you a copy. We will go over the report line by line with you to tell you exactly where you are at and what your goals are and where you need to be. And more importantly, I'll tell you how to manage your report. So that's probably the most important thing, whether you're trying to buy a house, a car, a furniture. Even in most cases now, if you're trying to get a job, they check your credit. Yeah. So
another question we want to cover as far as our listeners are concerned and stuff we want to definitely point out is, what about the low or zero down payment loan programs? Because a lot of people would find those hard to believe. So they're like low or 0.5. Now, there's certain stipulations to those programs, and if you can explain that.
Yeah, every city in the country, not just California alone, every city has housing programs. So if you call your city and say, do you have any down payment assistance programs? More than likely, they'll say, yes, we do. So there are some cities that are giving as much as $150,000.
And this is something, sorry to interrupt you, this is something you might do after you get, you run your credit, you
Yes.
find out you get your pre-qual letter, then you can get on top of it with your realtor or and I mean someone like you, you're a lender or whatnot.
Yes.
And you can find out additional information and bring that to the table as well, correct?
Exactly. Well, what you really need to do is call the city hall. I want to find out what kind of down payment assistance program you have to offer. And more than likely, like I said earlier, they will have something, because if you're trying to buy a house in any city, they have down payment assistance program. Now, the most common, which regardless of where you live, is the FHA, especially in California, by the way, is the FHA down payment assistance program.
Okay.
So you only need to come out of your pocket 0.5% to become a homeowner. So for example, if you're buying a house for $100,000, your down payment is $500.
$200. If you got a $200,000 house, it's $1,000.
It's $1,000.
It's easy as that.
If you have a $300,000 house, your down payment is
$1,500.
$1,500. So, whether you want to believe it or not, call the Federal Housing Administration. They will tell you that, yes, there are programs like that. Now, let's even take it a step further. There are some areas which are considered rural areas. And you can get what you call a USDA loan with zero money out of your pockets, 100% financing. Another one they should be considered, if you have served the country and you have a honorable discharge and you have your DD 214 certificate, you are VA, you can get 100% financing, zero money out of your pocket.
And if you're just tuning in, man, I know we're going over a lot of information. I'm talking with Andrew from Integrity Credit Corporation. You can get all this information. You can get reviews of the not reviews, but replays of the show. Or you could just learn about the real estate, the loan, the credit report. Or you can learn about all this information at www.icclending.com. Andrew, why don't you go ahead and give out your
my toll-free number,
the cell number, and give them. And I know you always come and say this is important for you to know when dealing with real estate, your DRE numbers and stuff.
Yes. Actually, my toll-free number is 888-816-6407. 888-816-6407. My cell phone number, 949-232-9569. My DRE number, Department of Real Estate license number, 01-78769. 01-78769. You can look up my credentials at the Department of Real Estate's website to make sure that you're working with the right person. Yeah. Or that I am qualified to even give you this information.
And that's something I definitely want to stress to our listeners.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I meet a lot of fast talkers nowadays as well. Yeah. And I'd be like, I don't know about you. but once you so everybody has to do their own background check and get their information right. And this guy's definitely a stand-up guy, and I would recommend him to all of our listeners. And I'm telling you, I'm working on the same thing you're working on. If you have any questions or any concerns or any problems and you want to contact me, feel free to give me a call at the station. My name is Trey, or ask for Trevon Smith. I'm in the back in the production department. So I'm pretty much tell you the same thing that I talk about with him on and off air, and I talk with him throughout the week because he actually coaches me, and I go out to some seminars and do stuff in the community with him as well. Now, there's some questions I want to go over as far as a lot of people live in LA, and then they run their FICO score and they get pre-qualified, but they can't even see, that's the scary part when you find out you probably can't afford nothing in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So you might have to move out to the inner empire or to the high desert to get you something. What's your recommendation as far as that? It's like, if you're gonna buy a house, what would you say to those people?
Well, it depends on everybody. Everybody's situation is different. You know, if you like commuting, then that's not a bad idea.
Well, I just want to throw this in, but once again, you're owning your own home, so I think the drive is
you're owning your own home, and if you think about it, okay, how about you kind of do some adventure? For example, if you live in LA and you can't afford anything in LA, well, why not buy something in the Inland Empire, you know, and as an investment, even though you're going to be living there and the drive, do it for maybe 2 years. Well, guess what's going to happen after 2 years? More than likely, with the way the market is right now, the value of your investment is going to go up, you know? So if you bought a house for $100,000 today, in 2 years from now, because of the way the market's on the upswing, your investment's probably going to be worth like 150 or 160. So guess what? You can sell it and move back to LA.
You can move back to LA
with $60,000 in your pocket. Now, which employer is going to give you a $10 or $20 or $30,000 raise in 1 year? You know, I mean, that's unheard of. So besides that, your tax break is going to be even higher, you know, because you're now a homeowner. So yes, it's very hard right now to find a property that is $300,000 or less in LA or in Orange County, you know, on the big cities, you know.
Like you said, you can, or even a business plan. You can get condos or even get the money to buy a duplex.
Yeah.
And rent a duplex out and have some money coming in once a month.
Exactly. Now you mentioned a duplex. If you qualify for only $150,000, where are you going to find a house in LA for $150,000? Nowhere, right? Well, guess what? You could apply for a duplex loan, and your qualification just went from 150 to 300 because you're going to be able to use the rental income from the second unit to qualify. So there's just so much mix out there. The bottom line is call and get a free pre-qualification. The only thing you're going to be paying for is the credit report. $17 for an individual, $25 for a couple.
And I want to give that information out. If you have any concerns or questions about some of this stuff, like you took it in, you like what you're hearing, but you just have your own personal questions, or you need to talk to your spouse or uncle and auntie about something that you heard about and wasn't, I mean, just anything you have questions about, you can call 888-816-6407, or once again, go to www.icc.lending.com and get all this information. Now, we were touching bases. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just also going to mention, if you only qualify for 150, well, you might have a friend, a brother, an uncle, somebody.
Co-borrowers, right?
Co-borrower, yeah. Join together. 3-4 people can join together and buy one house. 3 people can join together and buy a 4-unit.
Yeah.
So right there and then.
We're trying to get people just to make business decisions.
Yeah, right there and then 3 people just became homeowners.
And now you have residual income coming in.
Yeah, and 4 units right there, it's like you can live in 3 of them and rent one out.
Man. So many ways you can go about doing this.
So many ways, but waiting and sitting on the corner is not going to help because what? Prices are going up. Rates are eventually going to go up.
Nobody helping you with none of this.
Yeah, so you'll
have to have perfect credit.
This is the right time to buy. This is the best time to buy because your mortgage at this time period we're in is always going to be lower than your rent.
And we kind of touched on some of this, but we talk a lot of off air about an exit strategy. When you get in a home, having an exit strategy. I'm just trying to go over some of everything we talk about with our listeners, because you're actually writing a book as well about the home market, our credit report from A to Z.
From A to Z. I mean, exit strategy, yes, it's very good. You know, nowadays, nobody lives in a home for 10, 20, 30 years anymore, like they used to do back in the days. So before you go buy a house, well, what's your plan in the next 5 years? You should have a plan. Am I going to still be in this house? Am I going to be renting it out? Am I going to still just own it? You know, have an exit strategy. Don't let it, you know, kind of get to that point and you're thinking, whoa, I'm stuck. I don't know what I need to do. You know, So it's always good to know what your intentions are personally, family, job-wise, career-wise. You want to know all of those things, before, the time's up, so that you can definitely make a really good decision. So based on that, you also want to know what the extra cost of home ownership is. When you have an apartment, you only just pay your rent and that's it. But when you have a home, the roof might leak, lawn needs to be mowed, faucets need to be fixed. So people need to be aware of all of those extra costs involved in owning a home. But
you have to be, that's why they do all the checks and stuff that they do to make sure when you're because it's a crucial process when you're getting checked out, as far as when you're pre-qual. You have money in the bank all the time.
Exactly.
And these are one of the reasons why they want you to have money in the bank, because things do come up when you have a home.
Yeah, things do come up, and lenders don't want to borrow you money so you can go in default. Now, we can talk all day about this, but the bottom line is get a free pre-qualification. Now, let's quickly touch on folks who are currently homeowners.
Okay.
If your interest rate is above 4%, call me. I can educate you on how to reduce your rate. If you're facing foreclosure, don't walk away from your home. Don't file bankruptcy.
Call them.
Call first.
Yeah.
Just it's a free consultation. You don't have to. I'm going to just tell you exactly what the rules are, what the laws are, so you have something extra to fight with.
Okay.
888-816-6407.
And you always tell people, if they're thinking about filing bankruptcy, don't do it. Call you first.
Call first. I'm not against bankruptcy, but find out if you really have to do it. Are there ways around it? Can you call your creditors and settle some bills? Are there other things that you can do? Because bankruptcy, once you're done, you're done.
You're done.
It's going to hurt you for a while, So if you're facing foreclosure, if you've had a short sale, say, oh, you know what, I've had a short sale and a foreclosure in the past 3 years. Well, guess what? You're eligible for a loan after 3 years. You're eligible for a loan after 2 years on a bankruptcy. So there's just a whole wide array of things. The bottom line is call, get some free information. If you know somebody, if it's not even about you, you know somebody who needs help, give them our number, 888-816-6407. My cell phone number, 949-232-9569. I will return the call. If I was on the phone when you called, leave me a voicemail. I call you back within an hour.
And you can get all this information at www.icclending.com. And like I said, if anybody has any questions or anything you want to talk about before you talk to Andrew, give me a call at the station, 323-337-1600. You know what? I'm going to be like Andrew. I'm going to give out my number. If you want to talk to me before you talk to Andrew, and I mean, just, because I know you have to feel comfortable as far as whatever you want to do, especially working with the housing.
Yes.
Give me a call at 909-266-4571, and I'll give Andrew your information. The man follows up within, like he says, a half hour.
Yes.
So that's definitely something that you want to start working on. And I know some people are scared out there, but it's that time. I'm trying to make it happen as well, so we're walking the same path.
Yeah. Now on Father's Day,
Okay.
we are going to be doing a seminar out in Inland Empire.
Okay.
A free credit repair seminar.
Okay.
If you want to join us,
And I'll be out there.
Yeah, call and get information. We're going to be doing one seminar every month. Inland Empire, LA, Orange County, Long Beach. Call me to let me know you're interested, and I'll let you know the location and the time and the date, so you can at least see us face to face, talk to us, and
you can even run your credit report. When I met Andrew, I actually went to a seminar and read my credit report right there in front of him.
Yeah.
And they had it done. So it's that easy. It's 1, 2, 3, that easy. If you have any questions, like I said, it's www.icclending.com. You can give him a call at 888-816-6407. His cell phone number is 949-232-9569.
Yeah, thank you very much, Trey. I mean, I just, there's so much to talk about.
It is. And like I said, I've talked to your people as far as getting you here, because I know you have a wild array of just businesses and stuff. So I made the meetings, and then it's trying to get you here more often, man, so we can make some of this happen. I'll talk to my people. Let's make this happen and get people in homes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm out here. My goal, this is my career, is to educate people about their credit, number one. Educate parents on how to make sure that they are educating their kids to have good credit. There's no reason why an 18-year-old, if you're between 18 and 21, you shouldn't have bad credit. Yeah. The parents should be responsible in educating the kids. There's so many things, so many ways, that to just get that extra financial advantage, rather than digging yourself out of the hole all the time, over and over. If you're sick and tired of it, well, do something about it. Okay. Do something about it. Don't just, don't just pay interest all your life.